Hello, everyone, and welcome to the webinar today on entrepreneurship at Olin at Washington University in St. Louis. It's my pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar, and also just to let you know of any of the other webinars that we've had in the past. We do have recordings available for those as well, for anyone that didn't get a chance to participate in those, since this is our sixth and final industry seminar for this semester. And so today we're going to be learning a little bit more about some of our programs and how we can help you with your own startup or thrive in the entrepreneurial environment. We've previously talked in the past seminars about finance, about marketing, accounting, consulting, and supply chain management at Olin. And again, if you did miss any of those, we do have those recordings available for you. And so my name is Colton Richardson. I am a graduate programs recruiter here in the graduate programs office at Olin. And it is also my pleasure to introduce you to Megan Waite, one of my colleagues who is also in the room, who will be helping today with some of our questions throughout the chat, as well as our Q&A at the end. And so before we start, though, I do want to jump into a few housekeeping matters. And so just to let you all know that all of our participants today have been muted, so that way we can reduce some background noise and make sure that everyone is able to hear us today in our presentation. Secondly, I just want to make sure that everyone can see our screen that we're sharing today, as well as hear me in that audio. So if you're having difficulty hearing me, please use the raise your hand function or just send us a quick chat box message, and we'll make sure that we can get any of those issues resolved for you. And also, just like in the past, I wanted to let you know that this webinar will be recorded. So if any of you have to leave early at all, for anyone that maybe is on a lunch or anyone that is in between meetings, these are absolutely available for you at a later time. And so please do not hesitate to reach out. We will follow up after the webinar is concluded with the link by the end of this week. And then also, today we will be taking questions at the end of the presentation, but please feel free to leave your questions in the Q&A function at any time. If it doesn't seem like your question might benefit the larger group or maybe more specific, we will absolutely follow up with an email by the end of the week to address any of those concerns. All right, wonderful. So let's just go ahead and jump on in. To kind of set a little bit of an agenda for us today, we're going to be talking about just a few things, 6 in total as a part of that program here at Olin. First, we'll be talking about the program itself and the offerings in the full-time MBA and our part-time MBA, as well as our Global Masters of Finance. We'll also be talking about experiential learning and opportunities that are available for students on campus. We'll also be talking about some additional resources that are available to you, as well as career opportunities, student organizations here at Olin, as well as a St. Louis native, I couldn't go an entire presentation without talking about St. Louis itself. And so absolutely we will be talking about the community here, not just for career perspectives, but also for personal perspectives as well. So we'll go ahead and jump on in here to those entrepreneurship programs here at Olin. So we do have 2 of those programs. The first is that Master's in Business Administration, 3 different tracks through that MBA. We have a full-time program that is 2 years, a professional program that can take between 2 and 7, and then an executive program that can fit into that 20-month program. And so here at Olin, students will get to experience during their time the merging of their passions with their intended career path. Students will participate in a variety of industry seminars while enrolled in a semester of core curriculum classes, which will include industry speakers on campus the first semester all across all 5 of our career platforms, including entrepreneurship. In the spring semester of your first year, students choose a platform that is most important to pursuing their true passion, which may be entrepreneurship in this case, since today we are here talking about entrepreneurship at Olin. And this platform has been specifically designed to effectively steer an MBA student towards careers in commercial entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, nonprofit, small business, family business management, and real estate. And so possible career tracks coming from this platform may include commercial or social venture founder, early stage business employment leadership, social venture employment or leadership, nonprofit management, small business management, small family business management, and real estate development. And then the second one that we'll jump into here is our Global Masters of Finance, which is a 4-semester program here on WashU's campus. And that is the Global Masters of Finance. It really allows students to begin their studies at WashU in the summer then travel to a partner university for their second course of study during the fall. And so one of those partner institutions is located in Israel, and it's actually renowned for its entrepreneurship education. It's a one-of-a-kind opportunity to study finance and innovation at an internationally recognized university. And so you graduate with a Master of Science in Finance degree and a certificate in Innovation and Entrepreneurship from the institution in Israel. So you get hands-on venture creation and venture advising experience in Israel, which is also known as the Startup Nation. And in fact, you're encouraged to have an idea for a startup that you want to develop during the program. And you'll have immersions experiences that consist of weekly innovation tours to entrepreneurship companies. And you'll also work closely with a company engaged in entrepreneurship and innovation during an unpaid internship. Now, an honorable thing to note during all of these programs is that they do provide at least one skill to help you start your business. And next, we'll go ahead and jump into that experiential learning piece of your time as a student here at Olin. And so a lot of that comes from your time that you'll spend with the Center for Experiential Learning. The Center for Experiential Learning is Olin's hub for active and experiential learning through business and nonprofit consulting. The CEL matches top-tier students with organizations seeking objective insights and applied critical thinking. So our partners gain actionable recommendations designed to deliver impact while students benefit from valuable learning experiences. One of those practical things for you to do throughout the program is one of your practicum projects. And so they're available for-profit companies, nonprofits, family businesses, and startups. And so you will apply for these, but you do get credit for your work and real experience on your resume. And as we can see from the middle of that page there, one of the wonderful programs that is actually through the CEL is the SELECT program. And so the CEL Entrepreneurial Consulting Team is actually an integral part of the STL startup community. And so SELECT students work under the supervision of a faculty mentor on challenging research-oriented management consulting projects. And these are for high-growth St. Louis area startups, while the students also get the opportunity to engage with the founders and senior leadership. So this is an opportunity for students really to get that first world experience with individuals in those high-level management positions and to gain that experience for going forward after graduation and going on to those entrepreneurial ventures for themselves. And so a couple organizations that some of our students have worked with in the past that I want to mention, one of them is Hatchbuck. And so Hatchbuck was founded in 2012 and is a fast-growing market automation software company for small businesses. And during their time with Hatchbuck, the CEL team assigned this company was responsible for evaluating Hatchbuck's current marketing, analyzing the competitive landscape, and determining acquisition targets. After conducting several weeks of research, the students in this program and in this cohort provided a comprehensive list of competitors, including a perspective on each of a priority listing of those ripe for acquisition. And so they had real-world consequences to their work. And they were also instrumental in figuring out what would move the needle most on onboarding and retention for Hatchbuck. So they provided real-world experiences and consequences for their work, which actually advanced Hatchbuck for the future. Another one of those organizations that I want to talk to you about is T-Rex. As many of you may know, T-Rex provides startup entrepreneurs with low-cost and flexible entrepreneurship space while serving the region with quality programming and an inspiring community. And the group of students that actually got to work with T-Rex helped formulate pricing strategies, marketing plans, and competitively analyze their business working at T-Rex. So students were able to apply the concepts learned in the classroom to help make a positive impact on the trajectory of the startup business. The impact to T-Rex and other startups is substantial and allows new objective insights for prospective entrepreneurs. So again, going back to that real world experience that you're going to have, not just in the classroom, but also outside. So next, we want to jump into another organization on campus that is 100% for startups and for that entrepreneurial sense. And so the Alerus Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship on campus offers amazing resources for WashU students and alumni looking to start their own business. For financial support to strategic plans and workshops. They guide you in the right direction and connect you with like-minded students all across campus. You have a couple of different competitions as well as challenges that come from the Alerus Center. The center offers co-curricular programs to draw student and faculty into the funnel of entrepreneurial activity, which provides real-world practical training opportunities such as the Startup School, as you can see on the screen now. This 10-week online session teaches the fundamentals of creating a startup and helps them along the way with guidance from people who are startups themselves. The center also provides business plans competitions for students, faculty, staff, alumni, and the community. They participate in each of these programs, such as the Leap Inventor Challenge and the Alerus Center Cup, which all actually could provide real-world funding for students and their entrepreneurial adventures. The Leap Inventor Challenge particularly engages and trains Washington University faculty, postdoc, grad students, and staff teams towards commercial development of their technology or profit. And the Alerus Cup, which is on the bottom of the screen, actually provides expert mentorship to scalable for-profit ventures to ready them for commercializing their idea, launching, and pitching to investors. And so last year, the center actually awarded $700,000 in funding to startups and entrepreneurs through their programs. So this again comes back to that real world context of taking what you learn, applying it in an organization, and getting that startup funding that a lot of students so desperately need. And next, we'll kind of jump into those startups at WashU. What does it actually mean to come here for entrepreneurship, and what are some examples that we can pull from? Well, we do have actually quite a few. One of the first that I want to talk about is actually one of the co-founders of Square. Jim McKelvey was from WashU. He was actually in our School of Engineering. He was a founder of Square, which helps millions of sellers run their businesses from secure credit card processing to point of sale solutions. We have Gift-A-Meal, which is actually one of our alumni from the bachelor's program. And it's a mobile application that helps provide a meal to someone in need each time a user takes a photo at a participating restaurant. And so again, very different ideas, but both coming from that space here at WashU. We also have Edspira, which is an MBA alumni, actually with Edspira, which is an online learning community that provides free business and personal finance. You can watch videos to learn concepts, complete exercises to practice what you've learned, and to share your knowledge in discussion forums, and which is a really great avenue for future entrepreneurs, just in case you ever wanted to take advantage of that as well. The last program that I want to talk about with our startups at WashU is actually the Women's Bakery in Rwanda, which was started by one of our MBA alum, Markley Culver. She's down there in the bottom left of that photo in the bright blue and yellow dress. The Women's Bakery is a rogue nonprofit foundation and social enterprise that educates women and builds bakeries in East Africa. So their mission is to empower women through education and business. What's really spectacular about this program is that Markley actually doesn't just work outside of Olin now. We have students from our full-time MBA program and any of our programs that actually participate in those programs and get to visit Africa and visit these women in the bakeries and to get to see the workings from behind the scenes on what that actually took to begin. A couple other additional resources that I did want to talk about is some guest speakers that we do have on campus. So through the platform industry seminars during your first year, we have multiple guest speakers that will come in from all areas of industry that are open to all students in the MBA program. And so not just entrepreneurship programs, students can go visit those innovative speakers, but also through marketing, through consulting, you have the ability to cross-learn and to experience all that Olin can provide in those speakers and during that series. Secondly, with those industry advisors, we actually do have one full-time and other adjunct advisors for entrepreneurship specifically that are able to give you the firsthand real-world experiences and how to go about your job and your adventure as an entrepreneur. You gain those real-world experiences on campus, but how can we take those off as well? We have our academic directors who are platform leaders and actually on the cutting edge of their ideas and in their research of entrepreneurship and their ability to teach you the things that you need on going forward and being able to expand in that entrepreneurship realm. And again, like we talked about before, those case competitions through that Alerus Center, that LEAP Innovator Challenge and the SC Cup that provide that funding and that real world context to those students in those programs. The next one I want to jump into here is our student organizations on campus. Now, many of you might know that there are quite a few of our organizations on campus. We have over 30 student organizations for our full-time, for our MBA students. And there are just a few of them that I want to talk about on the screen now. And so there are a number of different entrepreneurship or potentially related clubs at Olin. So you have opportunities to network with like-minded students and industry professionals that arrange guest speakers and roadshows. There are a few of them on the screen now for Entrepreneurship and Venture Capital Association, the Olin Technology Club, Olin Cares, and Olin Women in Business. Each provides their own different perspective. So OWIB supports women in business by offering career, recruiting, educational, and networking opportunities for women in business, all the way to Olin Cares, which is dedicated to making well-rounded business leaders through community engagement. So no matter what you do on campus, if it's full-time, part-time, or executive, or one of our specialty master's programs, you'll have the support through student organizations, staff members, faculty members to be involved and to move forward in your career trajectory. And now, being a presentation on St. Louis, being a St. Louis native, I couldn't go without talking about a few of our specialties in St. Louis. A couple of things that we're known for is just that barbecue. I'm a big foodie in St. Louis, so if you really enjoy that food scene, and specifically in barbecue, I'd be happy to talk further with you in the future about that. But there are a few things that we're known for, as well as our startups and microbreweries, as well as large beer companies like Budweiser. Schlafly and O'Fallon also started in St. Louis and are happy to meet people and to talk with their business ventures on a daily basis. And then also, how can we go a presentation about St. Louis without talking about sports? You have the St. Louis Cardinals, which are our baseball team, and as well as the St. Louis Blues, which is our hockey team. So all of these advantages kind of show you that your experience isn't going to be just in the graduate program and just on campus as Olin. You're going to get out and experience the community and as well as all what the community has to offer you here in St. Louis. Also in St. Louis, we're home to 9 Fortune 500 companies and 18 Fortune 1000 companies that really allow students in a space that's a little bit less congested, a little less overwhelmed by interviewees and by people to get out and meet these companies and meet the high-ranking officials in those companies and have those conversations. St. Louis is also ranked in the top 5 for the fastest growing cities in the US for startups. Specific to entrepreneurship, some startups in the St. Louis region are Hatchbuck, Arch Grants, Sparrow Labs, Top Ops, T-Rex, and Idea Bounce or Sling Health. All of these startups are in that St. Louis area, and St. Louis is really making that investment in that startup scene, specifically in our downtown area in the Central West End, and really making that environment available for all sorts of businesses in that startup realm to really find that home and that ability to expand. And so lastly, we kind of want to leave you today about thinking about like, what now? What can you do after this presentation? And so there are a couple of things that I would recommend in the future. We do have, for all of our domestic students, we do have a webinar coming up this Friday that is Financing Your Graduate Education. And so that is one that all you have to do is visit the website to register the same way that you did for this webinar. For any of our international students that are listening today, we actually recorded our international one today, and that'll be available within the next week or so for those students to take advantage of that recording as well. And then also, I would highly encourage any of our students that are potentially interested in coming to visit campus, to look at our full-time MBA's Diversity Weekend, which will be held that first week in December, the 1st through the 3rd. Any of our professional MBA students potentially seeking another time on campus to learn a little bit more, to register for that information session on December 5th. We also have a preview day at the end of January that's open for students for registration. And you're always welcome to talk with talk with me or one of my colleagues. We love to talk with students and are happy to answer any questions that you have. And then lastly, that application for our programs. Our round 2 application deadline is actually coming up. It is November 30th. And so if you're thinking about potentially doing that program in the fall of 18, that is a great time to start that application and to finish it before that November 30th deadline in that round 2. But at this time, you can also see that information at the bottom of the screen on any of our contact information. You are more than welcome to contact the office at any time or visit our website for any further information. And we'd be able to be able to answer any of the questions that you may have. And so at this time, I'm going to open it up. Don't see any questions in the Q&A box currently, but if you do have any questions, we'll open that up now. And Megan will feel free to join me for answering any of those questions that you may have on entrepreneurship or the program itself. And also, I do want to remind everyone that this recording is, that this webinar is recorded and will be sent to you at a later time. So since I don't see any questions currently, I will assume that maybe you might rewatch this again, learn a little bit more, and again, feel free to send us some questions after you're done rewatching or at the future to answer any of those. And so we'll wait just another minute, see if anyone has any questions, and then we'll close down for today.
Don't be shy, everybody. If there's anything that you'd love to have answered that might be of benefit to the group, I'm so sure somebody else out there might have some of the same kinds of questions as you as well. Okay, it looks like you're all a little bit shy today, which is absolutely fine. I want to thank Colton as well for his efforts jumping in here and presenting to you today about entrepreneurship at Olin. Again, if you do have any other questions, you're welcome to reach out to us using the Olin Grad Admissions at woostel.edu email address that is at the bottom left-hand side of the screen. Definitely get started on those applications. You can be taking a look at that and poking around for a little bit until November 30th. We'd certainly love to be able to hear from you, learn a little bit more about your story, and then perhaps make some connections into that entrepreneurial space, knowing that St. Louis is very, very engaged in wanting to help and support each other throughout that process. So again, thank you so much for coming today. We greatly appreciate your time. We will be sending this recording out to you as soon as it is processed, and we look forward to seeing you on campus in the near future. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.